Since the non-points opening round in Charlotte, the subsequent 2 rounds of the Washington, D.C. Region SCCA Virtual Racing League have been overseas. First in the country of Spain and Aragon, and next in the land of the rising sun. Welcome to Okayama Prefecture and a racing course that bears its name, Okayama Circuit. Hi everybody, welcome to round 2 of the points-paying season for the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League. Kyle Heyer joined by Finney and DeCuna at a track that almost every iRacer knows inside and out. Part of the base content package for many years, but now adorning new graphics with a brand new rescan for 2024. This track looks good, and this is only the second or third time it's ever been featured on a broadcast on Sim TV, Finian. So hopefully we'll get to see more of this beautiful circuit as time goes on.
I was going to say, it's well overdue, a remake of this fantastic circuit like you. How to drive to get past the rookie license. So many drivers are familiar, trucking all sorts of different cars around this track. And just looking at the bureau right now, it looks absolutely beautiful in modern graphics and modern art. It looks phenomenal. Can't wait to see these F4 cars go flying around here, because really with this type of track, high downforce corners and long straightaways as well, that these guys can take advantage of to make a move.
Although the B-roll is showing sunny sights here at Okayama, it is partly cloudy skies here just after about 1 p.m. here at Okayama, Japan. 117-degree Fahrenheit track temperature. It's toasty as well. And this track is not known for being one of the highest grip circuits in all of Japan. It's relatively low grip as far as the surface conditions are concerned. It's got a bit of everything. It's got some fast-flowing corners. It has some slow, tight hairpins. Great passing opportunities in this challenging Formula 4 car. So with a 30-minute race on tap tonight, qualifying is going to be ultra important, especially with that first turn called the first turn. That can also get you into trouble if you don't plan it out just right.
No, really, especially on these starts, you got to plan that out. Of course, we do have a rolling start with this series, even though it is an open-wheel car. So we're gonna, you're gonna have to time that run down into turn 1. Everyone's gonna be close together, trying to get a little bit of slipstream here and there to make that move. But you can definitely maybe not win the race on that first corner, but as you always say, you can definitely lose that race in the first corner if you're not careful. As you got qualifying underway, a couple cars out there on the track. The 96 currently coming across the line, and that's Andrew Blata at the top of the board.
Yeah, average of 91 miles an hour, so about right to the top, the 129.394. Ken Hausiel runs second quick. Morgan Burkhardt is running in third. And as far as the results of the Aragon race, it was DJ Alessandrini that crossed the line first, but that ruling has been overturned because of the last lap block. Those positions were swapped, so he is currently going to be second in points coming into the night in that number 61. Peter Enzer's here tonight. We haven't seen him in a while here in the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League. Good to have him back. And otherwise, about a 20-car field this evening as Giancarlo Schooler jumps up to second in the number 12 car.
Yes, all that by him. There's some really quick names near the top of the board, and this gets me excited to see what they're going to be able to do. The top 3 all within half a tenth of a second between each other. Still waiting on DJ too to put a lap down. He's just now got out of qualifying. He's halfway through his first lap as we look at Schooler come up in that hairpin and then coming flying up to the long straightaway of the lap, and probably the biggest passing opportunity in on this lap.
And then into Revolver, which is this amazing downhill section here. Schooler's going to pop out from the left and head down the hill. One of the things I wanted to address before we get into the racing tonight is that this track has one of my favorite new features, and that is 3D curbstones. The rumble strips are now fully three-dimensional as far as each ripple in the curb, and that wouldn't be a huge deal in the GT cars. See that right front tire bouncing up and down, but in these low-slung Formula cars, you can drag the undersides of them on the curb and bottom out or damage the engine, damage the suspension. So you have to be careful, especially in the higher speed section. Heading into, is this Mike Knight here? Yes, this rumble strip that's unprotected on the inside. If you drag the underbelly of the car across it, that can be bad news.
Yeah, and there's one other particular corner. You mentioned Revolver. I know a lot of cars typically like to come out wide and then head it down right there on the right side of that rumble strip, because you want to use a little bit of that section that essentially is part of the short course and to get a wider entry into the corner following it. So you're going to see a lot of guys go over that curbing, but again, like you mentioned, that 3D curbing is going to rub against that underfloor. It could throw some cars offline and off into the grass.
Morgan Burkhardt was running in the Full Send Sims Spec Miata series last night. Got a win there in the first race, battling a handful of drivers, including Cam Eben, an 11,000 iRating driver. Morgan was able to beat him last night at Watkins Glen, so add that to the resume. He was also at Daytona last weekend, competing in Michelin Pilot Challenge in a TCR, and hopefully not fighting a lockup like that into every corner there. Big wiggle there on the exit of Revolver, and then into Piper. Big sideways slide, but he's quick to catch it.
He caught it, but he lost a lot of time. I think what he knew that he was on par with potentially getting past DJ's lap. He's about a 10th below. Unfortunately, pushed just a little bit too hard.
Wrong replay transition there. We'll get that sorted here momentarily. But yeah, that was a big moment, and he was able to catch it and carry on, which is good news for him. But
I tell you what, Giancarlo Schooler is on a pretty quick lap. Might not be close to potentially getting pole, but if he can hang on, he should be inside the top 3. It's just a matter, can he execute this final corner right here?
The tricky one. The apex is a bit later than you think it is. And now out across the start-finish line, what's Schooler got? And is it a pickup, an improvement? Oh. It is a 129.115. It'll jump him 2 spots to 3rd.
I saw it flicker between a 10th and 2/10 of a second. Thought might have had a chance to DJ, not quite there. Adam Kovac comes across the line. Mike Leader, Nathan Brackman also coming across the line. He gets a lap time down in 16th. And DJ works his way around. He's still got some laps to put down, although he's sitting on pole, and I don't think anyone else can get a lap in to pass him at the moment. So he's looking pretty good at the moment.
I don't know that I noticed the lizards on the side of the nose in the previous race, but I really like that. Yeah, I think we're looking at it head-on so much because of the long straightaway. But now that we get to really see the sides of the nose, the lizard's climbing all over that thing's kind of a funny view. But on pole by 26 thousandths of a second. Todd Rushing still on track just up the road, and he's currently scored 10th, about 7 tenths back from Alessandro.
As he comes across the line, I don't think he may improve this lap. If anything, might be just a hair quicker.
It is a hair quicker, but not enough to do much with it.
Yeah, not enough to improve, so he will stay in 10th. That ends his qualifying session. 4 laps allocated to the drivers, and DJ's on his 3rd.
Pick up.
Not that he needs it.
No, he doesn't. There's only 2 drivers that can take him off pole, Richard Sawicki and Nicholas Palacio. I don't know that either will be able to do it, but in the braking zone here. And there's a lot of uphill here, so the car's pressing into the pavement. You can get back on throttle so early when you leave that corner.
Yeah, that's what these guys are going to be looking for, just trying to find that point to just slam on the throttle. And again, especially when it comes down to the race, a lot of slipstreaming down the straight. You're going to see guys bobbing and weaving down the straight, trying to break the slipstream to avoid getting past in this tight hairpin.
So while DJ works through his 3rd lap at the moment, Richard Sawicki is on his 1st. Let's see if Nicholas Palacio goes for a lap as well. He's running out of time. A lap around here is about 1 minute and 29, 30 seconds. So you need to get on track before about the 2.5 minute to go mark.
You definitely get 1 lap in 2. I think he might run out of time. Oop. That's also not going to help.
No, that is not conducive to success normally. Alessandrini's up 2 tenths, I think, on his best lap, and he does go quicker at 128.847. The only driver to drop into the 28s.
Oof. I was going to say, with the times the way they were, it was going to be a pretty close race because they're all within tenths of a second, not even tenths of a second, hundredths of a second of each other at the top. But then he goes and puts that kind of lap in. Now 2 tenths of a second the gap, and he's definitely going to still push for this final lap that he's got left.
He's effectively got more gap on P2 than P2 does down to 7th. So,
yeah. Big gap.
Wiki did not record a lap time on that first lap, didn't score him.
No, that was his opening lap.
It said lap 1 before. Interesting. And I don't think Nicholas Palacio is going to get a lap in, so it'll just be down to Alessandrini and Sawicki to finish up qualifying here. 21 drivers on tap for us tonight.
I think the reason it says 1, I think, is because they cross the start-finish line. Because remember, the pits are before the start-finish.
Right, good point. Clouds, I wonder if that's going to bring the track temp down. It's pretty high right now, I'd say, and this is already a fairly low-grip circuit.
Yeah, there's something about Japanese tracks with the way they pave it. It's typically it's not as much grip as you like. I mean, the pavement looks like fairly fresh, but not as grippy as a lot of these drivers would particularly like. And then the higher temperature is definitely not helping that. It'll just drop a degree while we were looking at that, down to 113. And DJ across the line did not, actually, no, he did improve up to now 0.3 of a second at a second place.
I've heard that some of the Japanese racetracks will use crushed seashells in their aggregate as far as their pavement is concerned, and that lends itself to a pretty slick surface. Here's Richard Sawicki. Let's see what he can put on the board. He will get one more go at it here, and it is 89 miles an hour average, 131.427. It'll put him at the bottom, and he's going to get one more chance to go quicker.
Hopefully, he can only go up from here.
This is a track. This is a track that you spend so much time racing in the rookie series, and then you don't usually return to it almost ever again. It just doesn't end up on a lot of schedules for whatever reason. And I think a lot of drivers might not have driven this track in a car this fast. Maybe tons of times in MX-5s and Mustangs and things like that, but maybe not so much in high-level formula cars. I could certainly see Skip Barber being a fun combination around here, but I certainly haven't raced here since I was a rookie in iRacing years ago. So,
yeah, I was going to say this track typically it lends itself to club racing, although I am seeing apparently the Camel GT series scheduled to go around here besides the rookie series, but that is pretty much it for the calendar, looking at it on iRacing at the moment.
I don't think this track is all that old either. I think it's relatively new construction.
In the 90s.
Yeah, 1990. So it's not, it was almost gone by the time the Camels, or almost not quite built yet when the Camel series was still in its heyday. Here comes Sawicki. Is it going to be an improvement? It is a 130.6. It'll jump him up 2 spots to make that 3 up to 16th place. His qualifying is completed, and just in the nick of time, he's able to get a time on the board. It's slightly more representative. Qualifying is complete, and we'll head down to the racetrack now. 30 minutes go up on the board. It's about 21 laps around here at Okayama Circuit, and we are going to get a little bit of time because we have a full pace lap. So let's roll through your starting lineup here and read off this 21-car grid before we go racing tonight. On the front row, it's DJ Alessandrini and Ken House-Seal. Not everything in the world is predictable, but that one might be. Giancarlo Schooler in row number 2 in the number 12, and Andrew Pilata finishing on the outside of that second row.
Yeah, really stacked first 2 rows there. And then looking back, there's still some stiff competition. Morgan Burkhart's going to line up in 5th place in the number 2 car. Next to him, Jack Chrissy, line up in the 7th and 6th place.
And Luke Cantor starts 7th in the number 5 machine. Mike Leader rolls off 8th in the number 53.
Adam Kovacs throwing off in 9th in the 85. Next to him, Todd Rushing in the number 4, going rounding out your top 10.
And in 11th place, it's Kevin Zhu in the number 1 machine. Sean Fritz rolls off 12th in the number 6 car.
Going on back to 13th, going to be Tala Sadiq in the number 15. Ryan Carwile in the 71 in 14th.
15th place is Trent McMillian, and Richard Sawicki will start alongside him in 16th on the outside of row 8.
Back in 17th is going to be Nathan Brackman in the number 21 car. Next to him, Peter Enzer back in the 49 in 18th.
And Sly Stafford starts 19th, the number 719. Louis Alessi rolls off 20th in the number 43. Don't think we'll have Nicholas Palacio racing with us. If he does elect to race, he would start in 21st.
He is not here, so.
All right,
cars it is.
So, as always, can't win at the race in the first corner, but you certainly can lose it. Thankfully, they made it easy to spot. The corner name is actually First Corner. Then it's Williams, followed by the Atwood Curve, and then the hairpin at the other end of that same straightaway. Revolver, the downhill left. Piper leads to this next left that heads slightly uphill into Redmond, which is where we're heading now. Then into Hobbs, the right-hander here. Mike Knight is the fast right-hander, and of course, last corner is the last turn on this racetrack. They get so creative at the beginning and end, but it makes it easy for us up here in the tower.
You see everyone weaving left and right to get some sort of heat in these tires, because again, we mentioned high downforce corners, especially in the first sector, so that's going to be a big place you can potentially see some guys wipe out if they're not careful.
Yeah, hard to build tire temp, especially in these cars. They're so light. The tires are not super wide, so you have a little bit of ability to get some heat in them, but they're not that soft either. So That run down to turn 1, you're going to see a lot of understeers. Drivers are still trying to build heat into their slick racing tires. Alessandrini is in command alongside Ken Houseal through last corner and up onto the front straightaway. Okayama circuit all the way in Japan. It is a long way from home for all these drivers in the Washington, D.C. region SCCA Virtual Racing League, but they're going to try to bring it home tonight in Japan. Green flag, and we're racing at Okayama. Alessandrini's off to a very good start. They were 3 wide in the back of the field here. Now they're going to sort it out on the run down to turn 1. Houseal is about to get passed by Giancarlo Schooler for second.
And as it's continuing to fight side by side, Schooler now on the outside, Houseal stuck on the inside, but I think it might be Schooler with a run off the corner. As they go through the S's, I think it'll be Schooler that'll have the more preferred line. He will just get clear of the 23 Ken Houseal and move on to second.
Yeah, watch the brake lock up. Here comes Pilata down to the inside of the 96. He wants a part of this as well. Trying to go the short way around, and Mike Leaders had problems at Atwood Curve, and Kevin Zhu is involved in it. We'll check in on that one in a little while as we head down to the hairpin. Pilata on offense here, Houseal on defense, but he can't. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide with Burkhardt in the middle, but maybe their big lockup for Houseal.
Yeah,
and he's off.
As he go off the track, he goes off, and he's going to almost lose the car. He just gets it back going, but down to 8th place. It's been a horrible start for Ken Houseal.
Didn't go the way that he wanted. Let's go back and see what happened to Mike Leader there and Kevin Zhu. Leader's in the 53. That's the black and green car. Kevin Zhu's behind him.
Oh, just a little bit too hot in the braking zone. Ooh, and contact at the end of that as well for a good measure. But it looks like they got away with relatively little minor contact here as they work through the back half of this track. Those 2 double hairpins and then flying into the last 2 flying final corners.
Sean Fritz and Trent McMillan, those teammates, are splitting Ryan Carwile and their legitimate racing machines. Lap 1 of 21 is complete, and now their slipstream comes into effect. This is not a racetrack where I think you're going to lean on it as heavily, certainly not as heavily as you did last week at Aragon. You're going to be able to outdrive the draft here this week. Peter Enzer's really hot into 1. McMillan's going to cross him back over.
As they sort it back out, battle for 3rd place heating up. Morgan Burkhardt all over the back of Andrew Pilata. He's been trying for the last half a lap. Oh, as Burkhardt dips a wheel on the left-hand side. That's very sketchy into the braking, so got to watch out for that.
Al Sadiq had a problem in the number 15. Is there contact there that led to that?
Doesn't look like it here. He's going to throw to the inside here, and
Houseal had bobbled, and then so did Sadiq. So the hot track temps and the tires not fully up to temp yet might have contributed to that one.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what contributed to that. Jack Christie, Morgan Burkhardt now exchanging positions. Burkhardt just going to win out in that exchange. Here comes Cantor, going to throw it up the inside. Almost pushes it. Is actually kind of going to push Jack Christie a bit off the track. They're still side by side heading to the hairpin, and here comes Christie trying to work around the outside.
Elbows out there for those drivers, and Christie trying to keep some overlap on Luke Cantor, and he will keep such overlap and get right back by.
Wow, great job keeping it there and keeping it going. And will just stay ahead inside the top 5 ahead of Cantor. They lost a little bit of time in that exchange, but Christie going to win out. Cantor going to lose out.
Well, wide to hear the underside of the car scraping on the pavement. There's Trent McMillan and Peter Enzer trading spots back again, and then Brackman and Stafford in the white and green cars in the background also trading positions.
Oh, hello. Is that 3 wide that I see in the background, or almost?
Sign it. Sawicki finding some race pace after a qualifying effort I think he could have done better with. On the outside now of Stafford, and trying to turn in a little later to build that run on exit.
Oh, up ahead, Peter Enzer, Trent McMillan side by side through the S's. Enzer got a better run. McMillan a poor run out of Williams, and had a little bit of a bobble to boot. He's going to throw it up the inside of the number 20 car, and will just get on by Enzer. We're trying to do a switchback.
Sadiq and Alessi trading spots as well. Back to the McMillan and Enzer fight on the run down to the hairpin. By the way, Giancarlo Schooler is running down Alessandrini at the front. A 10th and a half between those two.
Almost trying to make some moves on the leader. Whoa, hello.
Contact down here at the hairpin. Nathan Brackman and McMillan coming together.
Brackman going to be the loser out of that. Going to drop down a couple spots back to 17th, but back up for the lead. These guys are going at it right now. Schooler going to try to throw it up the inside into the final hairpin, but can't quite get that drive off, and not enough overlap. He has to pull him behind Alessandrini.
This is unexpected. Alessandrini was way quick in qualifying, but maybe the race pace belongs to Schooler here.
Yeah, both of them had a pretty big lockup in the hairpin at the end of the straightaway, so They're both really trying to push each other hard, both trying to outdrive the other to head off into turn 1. But watch this 12. I think he's got some really solid pace. And if he can keep this close of a distance on the back straightaway, I think he's got a really solid run at DJ.
He's keeping Pilata tucked up behind him as well. 4/10ths back. Then it's 1.9 back to Morgan Burkhardt in that number 2. He hasn't run quite as quick as these front runners, but Andrew Pilata actually has the quickest lap of all these top 3.
Yeah, just ran it and was 0.3 of a second faster than Schooler. So he's really caught up. I think been using that slipstream and not having to deal with battling to get as much pace out of the car as possible. Here comes Schooler with the run, looks to the left-hand side. He's going to have a significant amount of overlap. Will DJ be able to cope with that tight inside line?
Oh, it's really hard to make a pass out on the outside here, but he's got to maintain the overlap. If he can do that, he might just get clear because the next 2 turns are both lefts. Giancarlo Schooler pulls even, now slightly ahead with his open wheel machine, and he is through to the lead on Alessandrini. They tangle.
In contact as he wasn't completely clear, DJ. I think he almost took damage to the front wing. I think he just narrowly avoided it, but now here comes Andrew Pilata going to throw it up the inside, now back to the outside as they switch back in the other direction.
Pilata's going to do the over-under here, but he couldn't get the acceleration down to match Alessandrini. Alessandrini got shuffled off course there just a bit, but I think Schooler felt that he was ahead enough. Still got to leave space out there, though, but he might have thought he was clear. Just wasn't quite. They had the slightest bit of touching. I think you're right. That contact almost took the front wing off Alessandrini's car, and that would be effectively the same as day over.
Yeah, Lily did get fortunate with it. Doesn't look like there's any damage whatsoever on that front wing for the 61. Schooler made an aggressive move by. Now the pursuer has become the pursuee, as Schooler is now going to be leading onto that back straightaway. And Alessandrini and Pilata, for that matter, are tucked in behind. How about this further down the order? 3 wide for just a second. I think that's Trenton McMillian in the middle of all that.
It was Stafford on offense. There's one car in the wall. That's Sean Fritz. Go back and look at that one in a moment, but McMillian and Stafford just took 3 or 4 cars in that lap. Just through. Wow.
Solid move to get done for him. Back up for the lead, heading to the hairpin. Side by side, DJ now on the outside, essentially a reverse of what they dealt with the last lap, but DJ nowhere near close enough to getting the overlap. He's going to try to dive it, thought of it, backed out of it, so Schooler will lead again.
He took a bunch of curb there on the left-hander and actually had a big wiggle there as well. Well, we've got a quick moment. Let's go back and see what happened to Fritz, and it looks like it might have just been all on his own. Let's have one more look at it. He was chasing 71 a car while, and again gets on the curb, and then it just steps out on him. And now Stafford is slow.
Might have had a minor off-track excursions and out of revolver. Whoa, off the track and got passed by 1, 2, 3 cars, so down to 15 for him.
Laps clicking away, 22 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Schooler, Alessandrini, Pilata still in this battle for third. It looks like the run to the hairpin is what's going to be the volatile one today. And if you could just hang that overlap enough on the outside of the hairpin, you've got 2 lefts after that. First is Revolver, then Piper. If you can keep your car there, in both of those corners, you're almost guaranteed to complete the pass.
And the leaders have then done. I'm sure Schooler's going to try to see if he can just maximize that corner exit, focus on it, because he knows that DJ is going to catch up to him with that slipstream. Speaking with DJ right in behind him.
Yeah, he's close enough now, but you almost want to lay back a bit, build that momentum, build that run, so you can carry some speed into the corner versus try to just drag race up the backstretch. But he's got a pretty good run here. Remember when Schooler did this, he had to lock the left front up and really carry probably too much speed into hairpin to get that to stick.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I think DJ was a little bit too close to Schooler, not enough to get enough slipstream to push on past near the end of the straight, so he had to back out again. So the order remains the same. And you look at the second pack, Burkhardt, Chrissy, Luke Cantor, and Tenhouse Seal. And they've all been slowly but surely catching up to the leaders. So you definitely want to keep an eye on this group because they could potentially be a factor here coming towards the end of this race.
Especially when they're scrapping as hard as they are. You're going to lose time doing that. And they're all heading into the hairpin too wide and defending, so they're going to lose some time. Just chipping away at it, though. I'm not sure if it's significant enough to really eat into that lead, but Morgan Burkhardt last time by at 29.794. That was about 2/10 quicker than everybody in that front group of 3.
Yeah, it's taking about 2/10 a lap, it seems. So if you can keep that pace going, you should be able to catch the leaders and potentially have a move or have a shot at them. Whoa, Schooler off a little bit wide, gets a little bit of sand. DJ catching up now in the S's. Ooh, there goes Schooler, defends it to the inside, and I think that's what's going to really hurt him here. DJ has a chance of getting a really good run.
Yeah, this is the kind of run that he needs here. He's back to about a car length or so. He's going to build a run early on the straightaway. Now he's going to pop out to the left, and this should give him overlap. He's going to keep the 12 pinched to the inside here as well. Maybe try to sweep out late. There he goes.
Doesn't matter. Wow, Schooler got that thing slow down and off the line. Fantastic job defending that inside line.
Yeah, that was really well done there by Schooler. Just hooked the banking and was able to carry good speed. But these three are on top of each other here for the top spot at the moment. Here's Sly Stafford on Peter Enzer into the hairpin. Look out! Lock up on the brakes in. Stafford's going to spin.
Hangs on to it though. Will lose a spot as Talat Sadiq is able to scoot on by.
Alessi had an issue a while ago. I didn't exactly catch what had happened, but it was at first corner, and it looked like it was all on his own.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys are charging this corner a little bit too hard, trying to get the power down open. In this case, dipped the wheel off, and around he went.
14 laps to go. Laps clicking away, and Schooler, Alessandrini, and Pilata. Every lap is like the same story, but a different chapter. Every lap, though, DJ's learning something. I mean, Schooler did it in the first try, so he did something right. And I think it was driving there too hard. I think that's what you have to do.
Basically, click the stamp and send it. This is open wheel racing.
The other thing you could try to do is somehow coax Schooler to the left and then juke to the right, but he's close enough now. See how powerful the draft is.
He has a chance of getting a better run, although I think it's waiting too long to get there. I don't know if he's going to have enough overlap. We thought about potentially trying to slip up the inside.
Oh, Pilata.
Schooler go right, and there goes Pilata trying to go to the inside. Just couldn't quite get enough overlap there.
Yeah, only about an 8/10 back is Morgan Burkhardt, though, so they're making really good progress on running these front three down. Another 2 or 3/10 gain for Burkhardt on the tail end of this front train, so it's going from 3 cars to 7 pretty quickly as Ken Howe seals the caboose of that freight train right now. They're quickly closing in on the next station stop up at the front of the field.
Essentially a 7-car draft train coming out of the final series of corners. So 7 drivers have a decent shot of winning this race, all within 2.5 seconds of each other. I got to say, this is going to be really intriguing with so many horses in this race. Of course, only one can win at the end, and we still got a lot of racing left. Across the line, 13 laps to go. DJ looking up the inside in turn 1, but thought better of it. Didn't feel like he had enough overlap.
I thought he would carry that and try to make that work. But again, the next corner's a left, so if you don't complete the pass, you're just kind of stuck there.
And you have to remember, too, for DJ, look at his mirror. He's got a bunch of cars in behind. He makes a mistake. He's got 1, 2, 3, several cars that could take advantage and get past him.
To Atwood curve. Tighter line there for Alessandrini. And it's still Burkhardt about 8/10 back from Pilata, but that's in drafting distance. You should cut that down even more. As Pilata looks left, and Alessandrini's got a great run this time to driver's left. To drive in hot on the outside. This might be enough, but he drove in a little too hard and wasn't able to keep the line. Almost had it. As behind him, here's Howe Seal on the outside of Cantor.
Decided he's had enough time waiting, couldn't quite execute. Cantor is going to do the switch back there. Here comes Ken Howe Seal on the inside as they approach Redwood. And Howe Seal will throw it up the inside on that 23, and he will secure the deal up to 6th.
Yeah, that was an important pass, but they have to be careful because they've already kind of lost touch with Jack Chrissy. Those two might just end up by themselves. About halfway through in the next minute or so as we get to 12 laps to go of this 21-lap event. Schooler immediately drops to defense here on the front straightaway. Alessandrini's got a big run coming. If you can get to the left and keep it, this could be the golden ticket back to the lead. Side by side into turn 1. He's going to have overlap here on exit. Well played by Alessandrini.
Can he execute, though, on the inside here into Williams, turn 2. He's going to try to force it. Couldn't quite get clear. He's ahead, though. It's a matter, can he hold it through the S's here? I don't think he can. Here comes Schooler back on him, side by side, neck and neck.
Into Atwood curve once again. Schooler will be able to hold this. This is almost like kart racing, where you just kind of have to hold the inside. Burkhardt's had problems at Atwood curve.
And so is Jack Chrissy. He's going off the track as well.
We'll go back and look at that later. For the lead, it's all 3 drivers on top of each other here heading into the hairpin.
Yeah, Pilata just kind of sitting back waiting to see which horse wins it in this case.
Good corner for DJ.
Man, you cannot beat Schooler on that inside.
DJ tried to lunge down there, but it didn't quite work out for him.
Schooler's so good at getting that run off the corner, but here's what happened with Jack Chrissy and Morgan Burkhardt. Oh, Chrissy getting to the back of him.
Yeah, Burkhardt blocked up, though. I think he ran wide a little bit and kind of overslowed there after the brake application. So had it coming together, they're both going to lose a bunch of time, and ideal for neither.
Then there were 5.
Yes. Take one down, pass it around. So DJ learned something the last time around. On the outside of turn 1, you can sustain overlap, and then you just have to complete the pass in turn 2. If you don't get it done there, you're not going to lead.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I think he wants to prevent becoming predictable for Giancarlo Schooler.
Sadiq has had another problem in about 15. Their spin here for the 15 car. It was on the tailpipes of, looked like Peter Enzer there, and throttled up and spun out.
Yeah, very easy thing to do with these things. Whoa, hello.
Whoa, look at that move.
On all sides of the racetrack. Here comes DJ trying to work around the outside, hoping to carry that run off the corner.
What does Pilata do here? Does he take him 3?
I mean, you kind of asked him.
Alessandro, he's going to clear Schooler.
Yeah, he's going to go in behind DJ. And here comes DJ. He's going to clear Schooler on the straightaway. That's a big move. Schooler going to go up the middle, 3 wide in the hairpin.
3 abreast. Schooler's going to try the outside move again. Locks up the tires, can't complete it this time. So Alessandrini muscles his way by with a gutsy move up the outside at Atwood Curve. That was well played. And now Schooler's got to play defense on the 96.
Whoa, I think Schooler's got a slowdown, I think. I'm trying to double check that. I guess not. I'm not sure he did. He looked like he braked in the middle of the straightaway for a second. I think he had a minor slowdown. If he did, gave it up. A lot of not able to get past him, but that was a fantastic move from DJ.
Ken Ausilas found himself in 4th because those other 2, Burkhardt and was it Chrissy? They had that coming together and promoted Ken to 4th. They're 1.3 back from the leaders as Alessandrini tries to break the draft from Schooler. 6/10 back now is 2nd and 3rd with about 9 laps to go. I'm
hearing Ken Ausilas and Luke Cantor making a little bit of a pact here, just trying to focus on not battling each other. They just want to catch up to the leaders. Going to be enemy of my enemy is my friend in that scenario, trying to see if they can catch up to the top 3 and duke it out with them. But now I'm just curious to see what Giancarlo Schooler has got. We saw him essentially, after only a handful of attempts, make a move on DJ and was successful in doing so. Meanwhile, DJ's had a much harder time getting past the number 12, but here they go. Here's the exchange between 4th and 5th.
Yeah, now the question is, when Schooler responds to Alessandrini, will he be able to do that in one go like he did the first time, or did he just get lucky because we saw how hard DJ had to work for it? Also, did DJ teach Giancarlo something with that pass on the outside of Atwood Curve? I hadn't seen that one yet, but that makes a lot of sense because the track has a bit of progressive banking up to the outside edge of that road, and because you can get on throttle so early, if you can ride the rim there and get that overlap early in the straightaway, it seems like you can complete that pass without a lot of issue.
Curious to see if Schooler is going to, he has an option here. He can potentially try to wait until later on, try to maybe force DJ to use up his equipment, use up his tires a little bit more as we see a battle here. Peter Enzer, Trenton McMillan battle for 11th. Enzer, going to go off the track, going to lose the momentum. Here comes McMillan back on the inside.
Great battles side by side here, even deep in the field. This is for 11th place. Big bobble there by Enzer. Couldn't keep the grip without the downforce.
He is struggling with those Pirellis. Ooh, as another car goes around.
Burkhardt again, this time in the last corner.
I have a feeling he might be pushing the tires a little bit too hard.
They're hot and slick and rowdy. That Todd Rushing that might have gotten by him there, or maybe Ryan Carwile. That was very close.
That was Todd Rushing that narrowly avoided calamity.
Schooler's losing ground to Alessandrini now. Pilata might feel some pressure to get by him sooner than later.
I have to admit, I almost want to say that this feels a little strategic from the 12, although that being said, not potentially helping. Whoa, he throws a block on Andrew Plata.
Yeah, let's have another look at that from on board. Plata dukes to the right here, and yeah, it's a bit of a no-no there, Giancarlo. That was big dramas late last week. And now he's locking up down. He's getting desperate here. He feels that 61 slipping away. And DJ just ran his best. I mean, actually, all 3 of the top 3 just ran their best lap of the race. Somehow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, now they're just kind of flying in formation. I think they have more of a chance to get down, make some moves. Ooh, a bobble from Schooler goes off the track, dips a wheel, and I'm curious to see if Pilata is gonna have enough of a run to make a move. I don't think he's close enough, but Schooler is really starting to slip now. The gap, I think the biggest it's been since the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, about 1.2 seconds. That's outside of draft distance, and things are looking slim for him to be able to come back from that. The battle for second is one of the closest on the racetrack at the moment. Morgan Burkhardt hits pit lane in the number 2. His night will end early.
Yeah, he'll just pull it off, and I think he's going to call it, like you mentioned, call it an early race here. As he on board with Andrew Pilata.
This is a great perspective here. I think Pilata's also sensing that Schooler doesn't have anything left for DJ. Oh, he's going to look to the inside. Contact!
No!
And that's exactly why you cannot block.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a penalty. I don't think that's going to be much argument with that.
Yeah, we had this same issue last week. Just the two drivers finished, but you can't do that. That is a block, and that is a perfect example of what a block is.
and DJ actually just jumped to the radio. He said, "I just got penalized for that last week. Enjoy your penalty, John."
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it doesn't get more blatant than that. You can't. How would you race if everyone was allowed to do that? You can't.
Yeah. he was really flirting with it the last lap, and then this lap was pretty cut and dry, I think, for the officials. But looking at Trent McMillan now, battle with Peter Enzer, Richard Sawicki, three-way battle for 10th place between all three of these drivers. You see them all go up and down the order, all of them struggling with grip. Everyone's been struggling to just find the grip around here, either by driving the tires too hard or going a little offline. There's Peter Enzer struggling with that. In one of the hairpins as Richard Sawicki tries to take advantage.
Yeah, Sawicki in 12th place. Remember where he qualified. He's actually done a nice job carving his way forward up 4 positions. And he has Peter Enzer struggling right now. You see that car walking all over the road?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? It just gets worse and worse. You have to kind of just take a step back and cool the tires down. Oh, it's only going to get worse and worse. He throws it hard into turn 1. He's got to be careful on the exit. If he forces the car too hard, but actually he's going to be able to hold it for now.
Sawicki will have to try that again a little bit later. Luke Cantor is now chasing Ken Hauseal. This battle has been promoted to a battle for 3rd. And Hauseal, remember that slip-up he had early in the race? He started 2nd originally. Nathan Brackman, by the way, has just had himself a slider spin. Let's have a look. Same spot. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's a decent amount of contact there to the left front. I'm not sure if caught the wheel. Be lucky if it's just the body work.
Here comes Sawicki on the outside of Enzer. Might try to cross him over, but where do you go? The track narrows up on exit there, so it makes it hard to do that.
And they have to stay back in behind, but both of them still trailing Trent McMillan, trying not to lose that. Get that sort of slipstream. See if they can try to still salvage a top 10.
Great battle here for position. Trent McMillan as well. We've documented his good battles tonight. Started 15th and up into 10th place and has had some pretty excellent side-by-side racing in his number 20. Closest battle now is that Enzer and Sawicki fight.
Yeah, if he can break off from this, though, McMillan will be kind of in middle of no man's land as Sawicki gets a big run, and Enzer goes to the left-hand side of the track into turn 1, dips a bit of a wheel, and tries to see if he can cut back.
This is just great dogfighting here. I love these over-unders and trying to build momentum. These are downforce cars to some extent, but they still kind of drive like a little sports racer. You can be pretty aggressive with where you throw them around the racetrack. They slip and slide nicely. And Sawicki throttles up. I thought he was going to try to do the Alessandrini move where he throttled up early and used the banking to catch him, but he wasn't able to.
I thought he was going to loop it there on the apex, but was able to save it. Lost. We're going to lose a little bit of momentum. Drag race between both of these two. This is for 11th. Sawicki trying to see if he can outbreak the 49. Can't quite. He's going to settle back in line.
Sawicki, I think, lost some momentum from all that, so he'll have to go again. Coming to 5 laps to go. About 6 minutes left in the race. Alessandrini leads by 2 seconds over Giancarlo Schooler. Then it's Ken Hauseal who's broken away from Luke Cantor. And now the next closest fight is the one that we've been watching, Enzer Sawicki, and not too far back is is Kevin Zhu as well. Maybe he could get into this fight if Enzer and Sawicki keep giving up a second to him a lap.
Yeah, I'm sure Zhu is a little bit frustrated because he's had a decently quick car. Unfortunately, he ran into a couple incidents here and there, looping it around. Ooh, as Enzer goes off the track, here comes Sawicki with the big run down the straightaway. He should easily be able to clear this.
Opportunity, take it, and he's through.
Enzer's trying to see if he can have a look back up the inside in turn one. Gap was closing.
Yeah, see how aggressive he's being with the steering there? That thing is all over the place on him. He has got those tires hotter than the sun right now. Look at the track temp.
Valentine's Day is coming up. You might want to send some flowers to his rear tires because they are putting in work.
Yeah, they are dealing with all of his BS tonight, I would say.
That's allowed Kevin Zhu to catch back up, so he's got the slipstream off the 49, so he's now a factor in this battle.
Back straightaway towards the hairpin here, is well within drafting distance, about half a second back. Mentioned Zhu had started 11th, but got dropped back with that spin at the Atwood curve early in the race.
Yeah, he's had another spin after that, too.
Gosh, every driver will sacrifice their under tray for that extra 2 feet of space out there to the right.
I'm telling you, it's hard encoded from rookies. Everyone does that same line. Oh, a little bit of contact there.
A little touch.
On the apex.
It is hard coded from rookies because typically you're in a Miata or something that can handle that curve. Now you drop them into a Formula car and got to check for all the carbon fiber work the team will have to do next week. Laps clicking away, and a battle for second is quickly emerging here.
Yeah, John Collar's Schooler has been struggling. He's been losing a couple tenths now, a lap back to Hausil on Cantor. So here comes Hausil with the run. He gained 6/10 of a second last lap, and that's not a fluke. If he gained about 4 or 5 tenths the lap prior, as he makes a big dive in the hairpin, a lock up on the right front.
You want to make that right front tire angry, you're going to need it to be on your side these last couple of laps. But last time by, he gained about 6/10 of a second. He's less than half a second back now. So do the math, he's there in less than a lap.
You always say catching is one thing, passing is another, and we've seen that School has not been afraid to defend hard.
Defend isn't the word I'd use, but yeah. There is a definition for defend.
I mean, it's a form of defense. It's not a. It's a very frowned
it's like the U.S.
version
military's form of defense.
Beat them into submission.
Yes. Down the front straightaway, 3 laps to go. Maybe it's 4. Nope, there's the 3. 2 minutes and 53 seconds left. Ken Hausil is closing in on Giancarlo Schooler, and this is going to be a dogfight here for P2.
The both of them keeping it tidy to the apex, running hair wide. And then up to the S's into Atwood curve. And here comes Ken Hausil trying to see if he can get the run. Gets on the gas early, and now it's just a matter of is it enough for a run that he can get towards the hairpin.
Here comes a big run from Ken Hausil up the back straightaway. And to the right, and this time Schooler has to give. Here comes Ken. Found the hole and will jam that 23 car down it.
It's all a matter, though, how much you got to run off the corner, and not enough. Schooler's been nailing that run out of the hairpin, and he will stay in second for now.
Yeah, his tires are hot, though. That car is upset and angry. I don't know that it's got the grip to sustain side by side with Ken for more than half a lap or so. If he keeps working him over, I think he'll get this eventually.
Coming to 2 laps to go next time at the line for these drivers. DJ up the road almost 4 seconds now as they're 2 by 2 back down the order. McMillan, Sawicki in their battle, and Kevin Zhu, Peter Enzer. How about this?
The great scrap for 10th place. There's going to be a touch there. Kevin Zhu has to give away just slightly. Enzer will clear Zhu once again. Back to the battle for second.
Through the first couple of corners, Hausil has a chance of getting a really good run towards Atwood curve. I'm not sure if he wants to necessarily make the move before then, but he's going to get very close. Schooler going defensive to the inside.
Ken fell down as low as 8th in this race. That is an exceptional recovery. Now back to the left. Got a really nice early run on him, and he should be wheels even with them by the time they hit the braking zone. Touch contact.
Oh, wheel contact here as they go deep into the braking zone. Can Schooler make it? He will. He throws the car in there and just has it glued to that curbing.
And back over under again, but Ken couldn't throttle up in time. Kevin Zhu has gone around a third time in the number one, and McMillian is side by side with Sawicki, but holds him off for now in the way back round.
Up these guys go through Redwood.
All the while,
to Hobbs.
White flag.
A white flag in the air for DJ Alessandrini as he's going to. There he is now coming to the.
This could be checker if he bleeds off enough time, and it will be checkered flag, just like the Rolex were early this time. Checkered flag. Alessandrini's going to pick it up. Schooler and Hausiel to the stripe. It'll be Schooler second, Hausiel third, Luke Cantor fourth.
Big wreck with Sawicki and Enzer in the background. Enzer off the track, Sawicki down and out of it. McMillian going to scamper off away and keep on a 10th.
Let's have a look at what led to that. Wiki on the inside here, and gets loose on exit, and then just loses the car, tags Enzer, and drops him down the order. Von Fritz might have one more shot to grab a spot.
Oh, I mean, the start-finish line's at the end of the straightaway. Peter Enzer struggling. He's going to kill the run off the corner. There we go. Slipstream passes down the short front straightaway, and he goes to the left-hand side. It will not be enough.
All right, so an early checkered flag there. I think DJ's last lap was on pace, but it was about a 4 or 5 second margin.
The total race time was 30 minutes in 57 thousandths of a second.
No way.
Yeah, it was really close.
Oh, that's awesome. Man, like we got the IMSA timing team up there tonight at the SCCAs. All right, let's have a look at our race results real quick before we talk to a couple folks. Have a look at the top of the order. It is DJ Alessandrini, and this time he'll get to keep it. Giancarlo Schooler, though, TBD on that P2. Ken Hausiel, third. Luke Cantor, then Jack Chrissy in fifth.
Yeah, moving back by Adam Kovac had a very quiet race in sixth. I don't really think we talked a whole lot about that in 85, but he came out with a solid sixth place finish. Todd Rushing in seventh, Ryan Carwell eighth, and Jablata back in ninth after his mistakes. And Tristan McMillian, we saw him holding off a train of cars behind him, but off to 10th.
And 11th place, Richard Sawicki, despite that spin late in the going, managed to salvage an 11th place. Thomas Sadiq, a couple spins earlier, he ends up in 12th. Peter Enzer limps that 49 back to 13th, just ahead of Sean Fritz. Kevin Zhu, late spin relegates him to 15th place. Then Leader, Brackman, Alessi, Stafford, Morgan Burkhardt. Those last last two, Stafford and Burkhardt did not complete the race, unfortunately.
Yeah, rounding out, essentially ran out your top 20 finishers here from Okayama. That was a great race, a lot of battling all throughout.
Yeah, certainly was some good battles throughout the field, and I think we saw Alessandrini and Schooler have a really good scrap. Still surprised that Schooler was able to complete that pass on DJ so early. With the first attempt, it took DJ so long to return the favor. Then Schooler had nothing left. Maybe just burning up those rear tires in the hot Japanese sun here today.
Yeah, that's the one thing you really got to watch out for around here. And we saw many drivers struggle with that, especially later on the race. You saw the back end sliding around all over the place with several cars throughout the field. So definitely something that was a big factor. If you're able to control it, you saw quite a few guys able to control it. They were near the front and putting in some good laps.
Well, I don't think we have anybody for interviews tonight. Nobody has decided to show. I think Ken maybe has some work to do. Alessandrini is off to do another race, and Giancarlo Schooler is chatting away. We'll talk to you, I guess, next week when we head to our next round, Finian, and we've got some really good tracks on the calendar this season, and one of them upcoming is Mugello, which I'm really looking forward to. I think that's a great combination for these cars.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. And it's going to be a big unknown because the track's still relatively new to the service. It's only been out for a couple weeks, and I'm sure quite a few of these guys might not have had a whole lot of track time around there. They're going to have to start getting a lot of track time there with some practice.
Yeah, so Mugello is next week, so I don't even think we head to an American track for a little ways longer. We've been taking a step to the international circuits. We don't head back to American soil till Wisconsin on February 28th at Road America, Finian. So lots of international racing, which is exciting stuff. We don't get to do that a ton here in this series, and it's nice to see something different now and then.
Oh, it definitely is. And we got, again, a great host of circuits coming up, so that's definitely going to be something to watch for the rest of the season, especially because these guys putting on a lot of a showing here with this FIA Formula 4 car.
That's going to do it for us this week for the DC Region SCCA Virtual Racing League. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week from Italy and Mugello.